Welcome back to Mass Effect, everyone. So, since the last part, I went ahead and did a couple more planets on the side. We dealt with the Helena Blake situation. We will be seeing her cameo in Mass Effect 2 later. I also went to the area where we're supposed to take out the Geth outposts and collect the Geth data, which leads to this.
Shepard, I need to talk to you. It's important.
Of course.
Is something wrong?
You know the data you took from those Geth control nodes? The information you uploaded to Alliance Control? I want a copy of it.
I understand.
You want to bring this data back to the migrant fleet?
Those files have information that could be vital to our efforts to understand the Geth. It could be the key to helping us reclaim our homeworld.
Then you'll leave us.
If I give you this data, your pilgrimage is over. You'll go back to your own people.
Not right away. I'll stay with you as long as it takes to stop Saren. But my people need this.
But you want to use this to kill the Geth.
You think you can use this information to destroy your enemy?
Not right away. We will need to study it. It could take years, but it will give us new insight into how the Geth have changed and evolved over the past centuries.
Alright. It's okay. She'll learn her lesson in when we get to Mass Effect 3.
Go ahead, make a copy.
My people, I owe you a great debt, one I can never repay. The only thing I can offer in return is what you already have. My solemn promise to stay with you until Saren and his Geth armies are defeated.
I never wanted anything more.
Thank you, Shepard.
Alright. Let's check real quick if there are any other new conversations.
Commander, I wanted to thank you.
What for, Garrus?
For everything. Taking me with you, letting me be part of your team. I've learned a lot. I've thought a lot about what you've told me. About not sacrificing innocence to achieve the goal. About finding the best way through, not just the fastest. And I've been thinking about Dr. Saleon, too. I'd convinced myself that he deserved to die, but then I started thinking about why I wanted him dead. I realized it wasn't because of what he did to those people. That was part of it, but I think most of it was because he got away from me. He escaped under my watch, and I didn't like that. I let it become personal.
Words mean nothing until you turn them into action, Garrus. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I'm going back to CSEC. I think I can make a difference there. I'll also reapply for Spectre training, but I'll do it right. I won't compromise myself to get there. If the people I'm sworn to protect can't trust me, then I don't deserve to be the one protecting them.
I'm glad you see it that way. Keep that in mind when we meet Saren.
Don't worry, Commander. I will.
Yeah, we'll hear more about that later when we encounter him on Omega in 2.
Commander?
Whoops.
Commander? I should get back to my duty, Skipper. Rifles... I wouldn't mind...
Whoops. Ah!
I wouldn't mind talking...
Never a dull moment with you, Shepard.
You ever go on any missions like ours before?
Saving the galaxy from certain destruction? No. But I've had my share of adventures.
Do you remember any that stick out?
A few. I remember one time I was hired by a Volus diplomat. What an ass.
I guess even politicians have need of mercs from time to time, huh?
Time to time. If it wasn't for politicians, I'd be out of work. They're always looking for ways to get ahead. This one was no different. He wanted me to erase his past. Get rid of an old friend who knew too much. Huh. His old friend turned out to be an Asari commando.
I can see where that might give you pause.
What? No. Alina and I were old friends. Sort of. We met when we were both contracted to kill the same Turian. Neither of us wanted the other one to get him first. We spent more time fighting each other than tracking that Turian.
An Asari commando mercenary. That's unusual, isn't it?
I wouldn't say it's unusual. Mercs come in all shapes. Anyway, when I told Alina about the diplomat's contract, she and I had a good laugh about it.
So what'd you do?
Well, I wasn't going to lose the contract, but I respected Alina. In the end, I let her pick the location where we'd fight. She chose some old Solarian space station overrun with mercs and smugglers. That way we didn't have to worry about hurting any innocent bystanders. Huh. She always was a bit of a softie.
What happened on the station?
What didn't happen? For 2 days I chased her through that station. Used my entire store of ammunition. Had to kill a bunch of mercs and use their crap weapons. By the 3rd day, the station was barely holding together. The mercs were dead or gone. Life support was failing. But I had her. She'd locked herself in the med labs. She was trying to patch herself up. Damn tough, that one. Then just when I thought I had her, the station's core went critical. Barely made it back to my ship in time.
I assume the Asari commando didn't make it.
I watched the station from a distance. I never saw her leave. And when that place blew, there was nothing left larger than a Turian's right nut. So I headed back to the diplomat to give him the good news and collect my pay. But before I got halfway there, Alina sent me a message. Better luck next time. Now, I'm not superstitious, but if someone can survive that, well, they deserve to live. At least for a bit longer.
What about the diplomat? He wanted her dead.
I told him the truth. Alina was still alive and she was really pissed. I told him if he wanted to live, he'd need me around to protect him.
And he believed you.
He kept me on as his personal guard until he died. Natural causes. Easiest job I've ever had. A little boring, but credits are credits.
So long, Rex.
Shepard. Shepard.
Rex?
We now get to one of the parts that the fan base absolutely loves to do. Give me a moment. We're going to be here for just a few seconds here.
Shepard.
Rex?
Shepard.
Rex?
Shepard.
Rex?
Okay, I'm done. But this will come back later. In the Citadel DLC. But that's just another one of those moments that the fan base has absolutely kind of gravitated towards as a funny little gag. Alright, let's see if Kaidan has anything new to say.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander.
We'll talk
I'd
later.
like that.
By the way, I'm actually leaning more and more towards we may carry through with a possible romance with Kaidan, at least until Vermeer. And I've been thinking that one of the things that we could do for the character story of this Shepard I'm playing is that she grew close to Kaidan and then she ended up leaving him on Vermeer. And it hit her hard, and she wasn't sure if she'd be able to get close to someone else later on. Then she started to feel close to Garrus in 2, and Yeah. And I know some of you are like going, "Oh, come on! I told you guys we are gonna romance Garrus," but it's also it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how I'm one of those who defends Ashley's character compared to other people who just hate her. You know what's funny though? Some people talk about how horrible Ashley's character is, and yet usually she's the one that people save on Vermeer instead of Caden. Of course, also some people think that Caden's character is rather boring in comparison, but yeah, so anyways. I'm leaning more and more towards saving Ashley again. I doubt Liara has anything new to say here.
I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
I just wanted to talk.
Fair enough. What did you want to
I should
talk
go.
about? Goodbye, Commander.
I just want to talk. I should go. She's like, my goodness, Shepard just doesn't know how to make up her mind. So there is another side mission I do have, which is, of course, to investigate this odd organization that we've heard called Cerberus. But I can do that another time, off camera.
Message from Admiral Hackett, Commander. Patching it through.
We just received your report. Looks like this Geth incursion was bigger than we thought. They were probably preparing for a major offensive in the system. We're increasing patrols in the Armstrong cluster to make sure they can't establish another foothold in the region. Nice job, Shepard. You saved a lot of human lives on this mission. Hack it out.
I'm thinking that maybe it's time for us to do one of the main missions now. And I've usually always gone to Pharos before I go to Noveria. I'm also not entirely sure when I want to do the asteroid DLC mission yet. The thing about the two different missions here is that with Pharos, especially if you're going with a Paragon run, one of the things that becomes the biggest issue for me is the part where we have to use the gas grenades to knock out the colonists and try to prevent anybody from getting shot and killed, just to make sure no one dies. Whereas on Noveria, it's more so a couple things. Obviously, we have to take Liara. Although you don't have to necessarily. You're not required to bring Liara. It's not like in Dragon Age where it forces you to take a certain companion on a mission because it's tied to that character. They don't do that here with Liara on the Noveria mission. But it's obviously very highly recommended to bring Liara. It's also recommended to bring Rex as well, but that's not mandatory either, and not nearly as much as bringing Liara. There's also, of course, the famous exploit that you can take advantage of with that one Turian guy to kind of continue to boost your either Paragon or Renegade with the little exploit in the dialogue there. But there's really nothing in Noveria that makes me go, oh gosh, here we go, like the grenade thing on Pharos. And Pharos at times just feels more like, oh my gosh, compared to Noveria. I mean, both main missions have their own different things when it comes to the gameplay of those missions. Like on Pharos, it's the going through the facility and trying to... I remember the one little mini game we have to match up the numbers for the thing to close the door to break the leg of the Geth ship and such. On Noveria, it's once there's really nothing in the first part that's kind of like, oh gosh, it's only until after we leave, and then we're having to do the little things in order to get the facility up and running where all the Rachni are. And doing the little things are there. I've usually always done Pharaohs first before Novaria, but I'm actually thinking, why don't we change it up instead this time and just do Novaria first? And I want to put off the asteroid because the reward you can get, I think, is better with, as you get higher level, it scales. Like, so the later you do that, the better the reward will be later on, I think. Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and just stick to the usual. We'll go ahead and just do Pharaohs first. Hold on a second.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Normandy, this is Alliance Command. We're detecting your presence in the Attican Beta Cluster. One of our surveillance drones was gathering intel on Geth activities in the region when it was spotted and shot down. You need to go groundside and recover the drone's data module before the Geth find it.
Is this the one I'm thinking of? Ah, it is. Okay, so this is the one that has the special thing that you can access if you got the little trinket from, what's her name? The Asari consort on the Citadel. Maybe we'll go ahead and just do this now, and then we'll start Pharos in the next part. Because this part has always fascinated people. Like, even before the second and third game came out, people really speculate on this part here. Like, the little side quest here is kind of just secondary compared to finding that thing and using the trinket for it. Yeah, there's the anomaly. That's where it is right there. And I think, is this the one where the little recon probe got picked up by the little monkey alien things? We'll do that after this. This is, of course, the main reason to come here. If you got that trinket from the Asari consort, Shaira. There it is. Okay. Examining the strange Prothean artifact reveals a small, irregular slot on the underside. Remembering the strange trinket that you received from the Asari consort on the Citadel, you pull it out and place it into the slot. The ball explodes in a brilliant flash of white light, momentarily blinding and disorienting you. Slowly your senses return as you wake from a deep sleep. You are alone in the forest, though you are not far from the caves that you share with the others of your tribe. There is a pain and a small lump in the back of your skull, as if a chip of flint has been forced under the surface of the skin. Leaning on your bone-tipped spear for support, you rise to your feet. A sound draws your attention upwards, where a strange creature hovers high above you. It is unlike the birds you hunt by the lake's edge. It has no head and no wings, yet somehow it flies. It is a beast of shining silver, hanging motionless in the sky like a cloud. You sense it is watching you, studying you. Raising a hairy fist, you shake your spear at it in anger, and the creature rises up quickly until it disappears from view. With a satisfied grunt, you make your way back to your caves and the rest of the tribe. You fall into the familiar patterns of life. The hunt for food, the struggle to claim and keep a mate, the battles against other tribes that would claim your territory. Days roll into nights and back into days. Each time you rise from sleep, there is the sensation that you are not alone, that some other is with you, sharing all you see, hear, and feel. At these times, your hand goes to the strange lump at the back of your skull, and you remember the silver creature in the sky. The air grows colder, winter falls. You must range farther for food, clutching the furs tight against you to ward off the chill. It is on one of these long hunts that the strange bird returns. You hear it before you see it. Its call, a deafening roar as it descends from above, swooping down on you. A single great eye opens up on the underbelly, a glowing red orb. You try to run, but a finger of red light extends from the eye and engulfs you, and all goes black again. You wake an instant later to find yourself on Eltania, lying on your back, the Prothean artifact looming above you, undamaged, and your companions standing over you. They help you to your feet, puzzled. There was a flash of light, and you just sort of... Okay, let's see, because it doesn't say who asked. I'll just go ahead and say, pretend it's Garrus. There was a flash of light, and you just sort of toppled over, one explains. Are you okay, Shepard? The other asks. You don't answer right away, wondering at the implications of what you have seen. The memories of a Cro-Magnon hunter, captured by an implanted Prothean data recorder. How long did they study the primitive humans, observing them and analyzing the results at their base on Mars? And what, if anything, did they learn from us? I'm fine, you finally reply, realizing this is a mystery you will probably never solve. Forget about it. So, yeah, that was something that, as you can imagine, had a number of theory crafters and such kind of going nuts. Let me just go ahead and cut this short by just leaving and then quickly coming back. That way we don't have to do all the driving all over again. But yeah, it's interesting, especially later on when we have our conversation with Javik. He doesn't really talk about this specifically or directly, but, you know, considering that he has something to say basically about all the races here in this series, you know, talking about how back when they were at the peak of civilization in the galaxy, that all these other races were still in their primitive states, you know. I mean, one of the first things he says when he looks around to see who our companions are, he says, "I'm surrounded by primitives." So... So some of that stuff, you know, as time has gone on and the other games came out, made it less interesting and fascinating. And with the implications. But at the time, you can imagine that those who loved theorycraft had quite a lot of thoughts and speculation on this particular little thing, since this was something that could be missed if you didn't have the trinket from Shaira.
This is the surveillance drone, but where's the data module?
Yep, a monkey-like creature seems to have made off with the data module.
Guess we're doing this the hard way.
Also, 6 points for Garrus. Let me go ahead and get his electronics up. And let's get that for assault training, and then this as well. Rex has a couple of points. Let's go ahead and buff his barrier. There we go. Yes. This is the one where you could run around, but if you find the one that goes into a tunnel, you're going to end up finding the one that has it. And of course, if you just simply try to kill all of them, you get renegade points for it, as opposed to just trying to very, you know, carefully, just kind of trying to, like, see if you can pick it up from any of them without actually hurting or killing them. It's usually over here. Whoa. Whoa, loading. Yeah, this may have been worked on for this edition, but that doesn't mean it's now completely polished free. Still issues with it. Alright, let's make sure not to run over any of them. Yeah, none of these have it. It's always one that's inside this mine. You can see all these things here that I could blow up if I was just going to go ahead and try to kill all these little things in order to find it. Ah.
He dropped the data module.
Looks like the data module's still intact. Joker can transmit this info to your Alliance command.
It's impressive that thing got all the way in here with that thing, considering where we found the probe. Just saying, that's rather impressive. Ah. Nope. It used to be, if you got one fail on that, you had to use your Omni Gel. You couldn't try again. Whoa. Geth. Alright. They're gonna go ahead and cut it off here. When we come back, we will more than likely be heading to Pharos. But then again, I could also change my mind and go to Novaria instead. We'll see. Stay tuned.